leave SMEs. We will have to mainstream SMEs to have impact on the biodiversity in Indian context. And the way how rapidly this biodiversity is depleting, it is essential for us now to take very urgent steps to arrest this. Agriculture is also one area where we can really implement a lot of strategies and the products which can really increase the biodiversity per such. There are a lot of pro-biodiversity SMEs also there in India, I think, which an association like CII and IBBI requires to benchmark those practices which have been implemented by these pro-biodiversity businesses. And I think we'll have to interlink this with a lot of people who want to replicate this model elsewhere. Environmental conservation is at the heart of biodiversity conservation. This is my personal belief. In our region, there are a lot of herbal manufacturers are there. And if you look at the ingredients which are being collected by our herbal manufacturer, the 75% of their supplies comes from the forest. And I tell you, the harvesting of this medicinal plants is done in such a cruel way. If you really go and find out that 10 years back, that jungle used to grow so much of biodiverse or so much of medicinal plant. If you look at it today, you will not find a single medicinal plant from that region. This is I am telling you from my personal experiences, which I could see. So I think you'll have to talk to, because SMEs are not essentially very sensitized to this fact. So I think at IBBI also we require to make a tool which really can help the SMEs to really understand. And you'll have to do a little more hand-holding of SMEs because they are one of the very major stakeholders for conserving biodiversity. Unscientific handling also of this medicinal plant is also one of the major issues. One of our vertical also requires neem seed as a pesticide. And we did a little interesting thing with that particular product. I'd like to share it to you. We used to get this neem seeds from the market, and we could see that this lot of neem seed had a lot of other materials also with leaves or even stones and all. So what we started talking to people who are collecting this neem, we started processing that neem in situ. We asked them to dry it scientifically. We asked them to remove the upper shell of the neem. So what happened? So my truck, which used to carry only 7 tons of neem, now carries more of a neem, because the ultimate product which I am going to use it in our factory I used to peel off the neem and then used to extract the azadirachtin and other things out of it. So we had value added because we used to pay 3 rupees to him for the uncleaned one. So we started paying 5 rupees to him for the cleaned one. So I think he started also earning money, and we, as in factory, when we started getting the processed material, we also started increasing our efficiency, not in terms of efficiency, but also the product quality also has increased. So these are my some thoughts which I wanted to share with you. I am really thankful to CII and IBBI for really having me and giving this opportunity to me to talk to you about this. My final thought on biodiversity is this, that biodiversity, we are not inherited this from our ancestor, but we are borrowing this from our young generation or new generation. If you really think this in your mind, I think most of the businesses you can align toward biodiversity and still remain profitable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a practicing eco-entrepreneur himself reciting to you the experiences and how by just extending himself a little bit more could do a lot more than not only for himself but also for the ecological system around him. We definitely need more of you or your kind within this sector. But it's quite amazing, and I'm heartened to know that I was not the only ignorant one. The people even sitting in that desk in the government are very, very ignorant of the subject. And it really should be one of the missions of the ITC Center to at least make them more aware of it. I think the mission starts there to get around to people to understand that what is in it for them and how this can be made a business model and how they can actually add more to themselves and to the community. I think that can get them going. Thank you so much. So now may I call upon our guest from Thailand, who's Chompuka, who has spent 3 decades in business while almost 15 years in PREML. She is involved in various kinds of businesses and public organizations and NGOs on introducing a very well applying multiple profit resource efficient management tool. So we are going to listen to that and how that can be used to look at a subject and this subject and generate more of bottom line and also track the regeneration and the mitigation of the degradables. Thank you.
First time coming to India, but with my strong intention just to share my experience from working or involving with the SME, which I believe that SME have important roles to do for the business and also for eco, for our world, just from inside out. This is the role from SME can do. I believe on that very strong. Yeah. Perhaps it's okay. Yeah, okay. I will talk about what experience I have with one of the tools of GIZ. Yeah. Thank you for GIZ. They have so many tools in hand which is available for any country. Can take, adapt, choose what they appropriate for you. This tool is called Profitable Resource Efficient Management. And the tools is just very basic, but it's process oriented. Yeah, that simple and that is the core of the concept. Yeah, Prima is at the moment is developed by GIZ, one of the initiative 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, and now they promote and further develop by the group or the network of the international trainer who get trained on this Prima. And this is, I would like to give you a little bit, maybe it can inspire you somehow. I hope that this is the result of the achievement of the SME they do from in-house. Yeah, this is from one of our project that we get involved 3 years ago. It just closed last year, this project. But this the result of this project. Okay, I can look from here. Okay, the result of this project of 3 years of this project, they get the entrepreneurs, the enterprise, SME, about almost 200 in this one. And they can achieve, first thing is the competitiveness, the sustainable competitiveness, because they do by themselves. This is, they can achieve about 250 in million baht. If you divide by 2, it's gonna be rupees, right? Yeah, and by this, how can they deliver to the ecosystem? They produce, they get more they get profit, but they can produce the product with less emissions, less pollute, more productivity, and also less emission of the greenhouse gas, which is somehow related to what our speaker have mentioned about biodiversity, but in maybe look far away from the enterprise. But actually this is they have done from in-house, but the impact that they can achieve is go beyond. So if each enterprise, each organization, each company, each family have taken this concept and then make a profit or more benefit to the family themselves and also the community, the province, the state, yeah. And what is the core of this approach or this tool? We call it the concept of non-product output. In our living activity, production activity, any is a kind of the many steps in the series of many steps to produce product or service in our operation. The output of the operation that we would like to get on one side is the product or the required service. Required product, required service. But it's not only that side. There's the other side, which is we normally look on the other side, not the side of non-product output. So this is the other side is non-product output. In this approach, in this tool, we focus on non-product output. Why we so give the importance of pay the value to the non-product output? Because this is cost us. It's cost, this non-product output. Maybe we look more, if we can reduce non-product output, if we can reduce the release of the waste out, we reduce the pollute out. First thing we can get, we consume more, or we consume less from the nature. We consume less material from the nature. We consume less energy from the nature. Add on that, we release less. We release less. I mean, we emit less greenhouse gas, less waste to the nature. So less pollute. So this is the benefit out of implementing this PRIMA approach. The what we call the bottom line is sustainability, economic benefit, environmental benefit, and also social benefit or human capital that we have the benefit from this, from the capacity to solve the problem. This is problem solving capacity, learning capacity of the people, if we take and implement this concept. We look in a little bit more detail of this process-oriented. In any process, we have input, process, output. In the input, we take three big group of the resource. First thing we look at is the materials, right? Second is the energy. Third group is water resource, material resource, energy resource. All these kinds of three resources we take as the input. The input associated with cost, right? We have purchase, and along with the process, when the input goes through the process, there are also another cost which associated with this, also the cost of this NPO associated with each NPO in each step where the NPO occurs is associated with cost. Next, after it go out, we have product output. This we can make money, right? Design product, we can make money, we can get the money back. But what about the output, which is waste, solid waste, wastewater, heat, dust, pollution? This also we have to, again, install some technology to control, to manage of the disposal of this. So there's another cost